youngest brother passed away 12 years ago on the 4th of July. And he had drowned in the river here. And so I write about him in here. Him passing really left a deep hole for me. And it really triggered something where I'm looking at my kids like, man, if I'm gone tomorrow, what do they remember? What lessons can I pass on? And so the book was one of those things where it's like, hey, take these lessons, apply it to your life.
Today on the We Share podcast, we are joined by Corey Mangum, Pocatello City Councilman and father of 7 who believes family is the centerpiece to life. Corey has authored the book Faith Over Failure, and we discuss some of his 26 ideas to reshape your faith. Welcome to the We Share podcast. I'm Julie.
I'm Alex.
We share ourselves and we provide a platform for others to share.
We believe everyone has a purpose and a story to tell.
And we're back on the We Share podcast. I'm Julie.
And I'm Alex.
Alex, we have an author and many other hats. Occupations behind that. So introduce our guest today.
Yes, today our guest is Corey Mangum. He is currently living in Pocatello. He's a father, a husband, father of 7. He works during the day at WaFed Bank. He's the manager there. He's also a city council member.
In Pocatello.
Which is exciting right now because there's that runoff.
Yeah,
we can talk about that. But he's a motivational faith coach. And today he's here because he's an author. And we're going to dive into his book, Faith Over Failure, learn a little bit about Corey.
Hi, Corey.
Welcome, Corey.
Hello, ladies.
Thank you first for making the drive, because it's a little bit of a drive. So I appreciate you coming to the studio. So thank you for that. Maybe just give us some background on who Corey Mangum is.
Yeah, where did you get your start? Your beginning?
Man, who is Corey Mangum? That's a deep question, but it's super shallow pool, right? I don't even know where to start. I was born in Washington State. My parents moved from Washington State to Arco, Idaho. From Arco, Idaho, I moved back to Washington, did my thing there, and then came back to Idaho. Actually, I got ditched here in Idaho. I came back to visit, and a friend was supposed to take me back to the train or bus station or whatever, and then they ended up sleeping through the alarm to take me back, so I got stuck here. And so I got stuck in Arco. We moved to Idaho Falls, so I just stayed here, fell in love again with Idaho. And
what age were you stuck?
So that was out of high school.
Oh, okay.
I used to tell people when I was in middle school that I was kidnapped. And my dad hated that joke. I was like, yeah, we were kidnapped. Like, there aren't too many black people in Arco. And I'm like, yeah, there's only us.
Yeah.
We were kidnapped. And he's like, stop telling people that. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell, an Idaho guy.
What was that? I mean, let's just talk about the elephant in the room. What was that like to be the black person in Arco, such a little town, and you're the only one?
Yeah.
What was that like growing up?
So it was a culture shock for not only our family, but for the town itself.
Right.
A lot of people had never really seen a black person live face to face outside of, nobody except for on television and athletes and whatnot.
Like the Cosby Show.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. And so there was a huge learning curve for a lot of people. But overall, I loved Arco. I loved living out there. The people out there were warm, receptive, nice. There was, a couple times here and there where there'd be like some kind of altercations or issues. But for the most part, everybody supported everybody. And that small town vibe was just, I tried to move back there and buy a house. My wife was like, absolutely not.
I can't live in that small of a place.
I couldn't live there either.
Yeah. That is actually so heartwarming to hear because I believe that about our community, but people have their own experiences and whatever. So I'm glad that was the experience you had there too.
Yeah.
So awesome. Then you made it to Idaho Falls.
So my parents opened a restaurant in Arco 30 years ago called Grandpa Southern Barbecue.
Oh, okay.
And my dad, what brought us to Arco was the site. My dad started working for the INL, and about a few years later, he's like, I want to do a restaurant. My mom's like, you're crazy. And he's like, nah, I'm going to do a restaurant. So he retires early, starts the restaurant, and people were just like, how are you going to do a black restaurant in Arco, Idaho? And he's like, well, I'm not doing a black restaurant. I'm doing a barbecue restaurant. And so people just, started gravitating towards it. We would have people coming from all over the country and around the world just to come to Arco just to eat. We were in Delta magazine in Germany. We were in magazines in Thailand. We were in magazines and stuff, articles all over the world.
Wow.
And so it was pretty big.
That's awesome.
I didn't even know that. I've heard of Pickle's Place there,
Yeah.
but this is before my time,
Yeah.
before moving to Idaho.
Your father has a place here in Idaho Falls now. Does he still have the place in Arco?
No. So at one point we had a place in Arco, 2 locations here in Idaho Falls, and 1 in Twin. But things kind of got funny, how business does. And so we scaled back down to the 1. We've moved around from a couple locations here in Idaho Falls, but now we're on West Broadway here in Idaho Falls.
And you cater, right?
We cater.
Big catering.
We cater out. He'll bring the pit, smoke meat, and cook it right there. We'll put it in trays. Whatever you need, we
I'm
can
getting
do it.
hungry.
I know.
It's like,
so
I'm like,
good.
it's early. Like,
Yeah.
what?
So my dad is from Kentucky. My mom's family's from Mississippi.
Okay.
And so all of that converges into this one beautiful idea of barbecue and soul food, gumbo, macaroni and cheese. My mom makes sweet potato pie, pecan pie, peach cobbler, buttermilk pie.
Sign me up.
I know. I'm literally, I have had it before, but I'm sitting, my stomach's growling now.
We're so close to Thanksgiving. My mom takes about 300 pie orders to prepare for Thanksgiving, and people come and pick
What
up.
a woman.
Do you know what? For baskets of blessings, I'll just do the pie order
Oh,
from
this is
them.
great.
So
Yes.
I'll just call in an order for 20 pies or certificates for pies.
That would
Today
be
when we're done.
fantastic. The radio program is doing Thanksgiving dinners for needy children in elementary schools throughout East Idaho. And we're not going to put the dinner in a basket because that just doesn't work. But there will be certificates for them to go and pick up things. And we would love to support local.
I'll support that.
Well, thank you.
It sounds good. I'll buy a few extra for me and Julie.
Please
I
do.
mean, we'll pay
on our own
We'll pay
time.
on our own
but
dime.
yes,
Yeah.
that would be great. Okay, so you clearly have done things in your life to advance career-wise, and you were the father of 7 children. How did we get to that place? How did you become the manager of the bank, and how did you even decide to run for the city council of Pocatello and then write a book?
Man, so this book has been, a lot of the lessons that are in the book are life lessons that I've learned, throughout the 42 years of me being alive. I'd have to check my license to confirm how old I actually am. But yeah, so from the kids, I've been married twice. So I have 3 with my first wife, 2 with my current wife, and then she had 2. And so we just converged and have
blended,
7 kids
yeah.
together, 5 girls, 2 boys. They're the centerpiece of my life. I love having my kids. But from the bank standpoint, so I've always had this entrepreneurial attitude and spirit. Watching my dad open the restaurant and go through the ups and the downs of owning his own business, I've always had this heart where I had just had this desire to work for myself. So years ago, I started a business, a restaurant, and at first it was just all concessions and catering and things like that. Did some private chef things, and then later on it turned into this brick and mortar. And it was called Fried Up Chicken and Scones. Great business, great idea. But I made a terrible business partnership with the owner of this building. And we didn't inspect the building. We just kind of took their word for it. And the building was a complete bust. So after a few months of being in there, we didn't realize there were sewage issues. So you hook up and you're doing all of the dishwashing and things like that. And you can smell sewage coming out of the walls and out of the pipes and stuff. And I'm like, nobody can eat in here like this. So the lady tells me, well, the remedy for it is you get hot water and bleach and just pour it down the drains. And after about a month of that, I'm like, this can't be, we can't go on like this. And so we ended up closing up the building, closing up the business. And from there, I'm just like, what do I do next? And I had a buddy who worked at Wells Fargo. So he's like, come on and work over here. My wife's like, I think you should. And in my mind, I'm like, dude, you got to be like some kind of savant guru to go work at Wells Fargo. It's Wells Fargo.
Yeah, it's a bank.
Yeah. And I get there and I'm like, oh, it's easier than I thought,
I got the skills.
Yeah. Loved it. Promoted pretty quickly. One of the top performers in what I did there as a teller, then a banker, and then promoted to branch management, and the branch management is what moved us to Pocatello. Left Wells Fargo at a point. I decided to go back to school, finish up my education, and then Washington Federal just fell into my lap, and they're like, "Hey, come on over." And so I went and worked there. Been there for almost 7 years now. Love it. It's gotten me out in the community, really networking and growing and doing phenomenal in the banking business. And from there, so I fell in love with the city. Growing up when I was in Arco, I couldn't stand Pocatello.
I love Pocatello.
I hated
love
it
The
as
Gate
a kid.
City.
As a high schooler, me and buddies, they had friends or they had family members who graduated before us and they'd lived in Pocatello. So we'd go down there, visit, hang out, and we'd go to the bars in town, being underage kids, and they'd be watching us and they're like, "Hey, good game tonight." And I'm looking around like, "Yeah, man, good job." So I'm like, "Cool, thanks," 15, 16 years old. And they were just like, "Come on in." And we did things we weren't supposed to do. But I hated the vibe of Pocatello. And then once we moved there, I just fell in love with that small town vibe. And the people are so friendly, volunteering, caring. The community just is a passionate community. There isn't a real vibe of people who are like better than other people. It's just like for the better of the city, everybody rallies together. So I love Pocatello. And that's kind of what led me to the city politics.
Yeah, city council. So how long have you held a seat there?
I've been in this seat. I was appointed, I want to say 2022.
They had a big upset at the city council and a big changeover, so he was appointed to his seat.
Yes, we had 3 council members who had vacated their seats, and then I was appointed. The mayor interviewed several people, tons of people. I think started at 100 or 80 or something like that, and whittled down to 3. I was selected, and another gentleman was selected, and the rest is history.
Of course, you would know that. I don't know that.
Yeah.
There was a coup.
It was just crazy. There's a lot of, it's so nuanced, but there was 3 people who disagreed with the rest of the city, and they just decided to leave. And I believe in change. So sometimes things happen for a reason. And because of that, you get to step in and apply, and good things can come from that. So
I love what I do. So I was appointed. I had to serve the rest of that term, which was a year. Then I had to campaign to retain my seat. And I had people calling me, texting me, emailing me, "Are you sure this is what you want to do?" And I'm like, "Well, why wouldn't I?" "Well, you're black and you'd be the only black person serving in that seat." And I'm like,
You're like, "Thanks, I'm aware."
Well, I was kind of facetious.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I'm what?"
You've got to be kidding me.
Nobody told me. God is playing a crazy joke on me right now.
I just thought it was real tan.
I just thought, yeah. And so I was like, you know what? It doesn't really matter. I think the city supports me. I support the city. I was sick of hearing people dump on the city of Pocatello and how terrible it is. And it's the armpit of Idaho and all these different things. And so one of my campaign commitments that it wasn't a promise to rebuild anything or to do something crazy, but to be a cheerleader for the city of Pocatello. And there are some promises that I did make, and I've kept up with those promises, but it was to be that cheerleader and that voice, that champion for Pocatello. And I love our city. I love what we have. I love what we do. Well,
and with 7 kids in schools and stuff down there and being athletic, you're involved.
Mm-hmm.
Kids get you involved.
Sports is a great way to get a pulse of the city.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and I always appreciate a school superintendent who will attend all of the sporting events. You want to meet the parents, go to the sporting events.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so the book. When did this start?
The book.
Tell us about the book, Faith Over Failure.
The book started several years ago. I just started outlining different things. I had started a YouTube channel, and I was talking about just different faith principles and things like that. And then my brother was like, "Dude, you should write a book." And I'm like, I don't know about that. You got to be a genius, some kind of like guru to write a book. And he's like, "Dude, you know your stuff, man. Just just start writing. So I started scripting out stuff, and then slowly it just came to fruition. And there's a lot of life lessons in it. One of my youngest brother passed away 13 years ago, 12 years ago, on the 4th of July. And he had drowned in the river here.
I remember this
story. Yeah.
Yes, I remember this.
And so I write about him in here and some of the lessons. Him passing really left a deep hole for me. And it really triggered something where I'm looking at my kids like, man, if I'm gone tomorrow, what do they remember? What lessons can I pass on? Do I make a recording? What do I do to get them to realize or to know, like, to remember Dad? And so the book was one of those things where it's like, hey, take these lessons, apply it to your life. And anybody who applies them, I think they'll be successful.
Let's go through some of the lessons.
Yeah, let's talk about some of them. Maybe
without giving too much away.
Don't
and
give
then,
too
of
much
course,
away.
order on Amazon or at your local retailer.
So the one of them is really near to my heart is Life is Short. That's the one I write about my brother in there. And I kind of describe the whole vibe in the room of how before the police got there to tell us that they had found him, what the atmosphere was like and how everything just paused and how everything just was still. And I talk about the whole emotion. So that one's really near to me. And in that one, I'm trying to draw the emphasis that life is short. And so go after whatever it is that you have in your heart to go after. Chase that thing down and accomplish it because you never know when things are going to end.
Right. Our days are numbered and we don't know what that number is.
And also, why not you?
Absolutely.
I tell people that all the time. Why not you?
Absolutely.
Somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to fill the void. Somebody's got to be the city council member. Somebody's got to be the manager of the bank. Why not you?
Well, we complain about a lot of things, right? And we see all these problems, but, well, somebody needs to fix it. Well, why not you?
Yeah.
You should be the person to, be the voice of reason or, implement that change, come up with an idea. Whatever it is, you should be that person.
Where does your motivation come from for that?
Man.
Because it has to come from, right? To be that person that is willing to put yourself out there and take the risk and invest. Like, you've got to have that. So was your brother your motivation?
So this goes back to ARCO.
Okay.
My mom was the first, which is the first is easy because it's ARCO, right?
Right.
But she was the first Black deputized person in ARCO. She was the assistant she was the vice principal of the high school. She was on the city council. She was in the chamber. One of the state's first business incubation centers was in ARCO, and she was the one who helped to launch it and get it running off the ground and everything. And then my dad was also serving in city government and all these things. And so it really instilled in me this thought that I can do whatever I put my mind to do. Whatever I wanted to do, I could do it. And my parents would always tell us, like, nothing holds you back. Nothing stops you. You can do it. And sports kind of helped me there. Everything that I've done, it's just like,
I love hearing that because we hear the other side of it more. Like, I'm this way, like, I'm Black, I can't, or people are hard on me and judge me.
I have ADHD, I can't do it. I have. Yeah, or
I have family history of this. And instead you're like, because of that, can do this.
I was diagnosed with ADD, ADHD, and my dad, they had the pills in the office at the school, and I don't know what my dad noticed, but one day he's just like, what is this? And I remember him shaking the bottle, and he's like, yeah, we're not doing this anymore. Throws away the pills. And he's like, you got to figure out how to be you and how to overcome. Now, I'm not advising that anybody do this, see your doctor.
This was for you.
No, but
your pills
it
away,
worked
right?
for you. I think it worked for our generation too. I think, people are fast
we
to-
understand that.
Yeah. So he's like, dude, the way your brain works and the way you operate, the way you do what you do, you're not you when you're on this. And so find a way. You got to figure out how to make you. And in school, the school tested me and my brother because we were both kind of just like, social butterflies, if you will. I was told that I was a leader, and when I'm rowdy, the class is rowdy, and all these different things. And so my dad's like, you got to figure out how to hone all that stuff in and really focus. And so from there, it just really taught me, like, I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this. I just got to be me. And I believe that there's the scripture in the Bible that says that a man's gift will make room for him. And I think that part of what I do and the way that I act, the way that I think, the way that I see things is part of my gifting. And it's made room for me in writing a book. It's made room for me in city government. It's made room for me in banking, entrepreneurship, all of these things. It's made room for me, and my gifting has just been exposed, and it just keeps on laying itself out over and over.
And magnifying, right? Because what you water grows.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, you're just amplifying the gifts that have been given, and you're just going to get better at highlighting what we each individually have.
Absolutely.
That's the long-term goal. Do you want to pick another? You said, life is short. What else?
All of these are good ones. One of my biggest ones is wins and losses. And it talks about the difference between wins and losses. Everybody wants to be a winner. Everybody wants to go undefeated, but those losses teach you lessons. You can go through win after win after win, but as soon as you hit that loss, a lot of people are devastated because it's like, man, I'm used to winning. Why am I like, what's going on? And their value is found in that win. And then they devalue themselves because of that loss. But if you analyze the losses, it helps you to promote to the next set of wins. The other one is...
Can I add something to that?
I think we should.
Go ahead.
Dive into that one. Yeah.
I love sports. My journalism career was based around sports. I know I do politics now, and I also have a crime podcast, and we do this regional podcast that talks about people, but it was rooted in sports. And the thing about when you dig into like the statistics of a game, the losing team has wins embedded in the loss. That's always true.
Yes.
And that's no different in life. We might lose at something, but there's a win embedded in there that will make you better if you'll go find it.
Absolutely.
And you have to look for it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
there's moments in that competition, whether it's a game, a match, where you actually won some points. You won some plays. And if you were to just focus on the loss and not the things you did right, and then figure out how you can improve. I don't know, it'd be really boring to just always win.
Yeah.
And I can say that from being a winner. No.
Yeah.
In the beginning, like I think early life, before my challenges hit, I won a lot of things. Things were pretty easy. It was after those losses that you realize, oh man, life can be hard, because life was pretty rosy up until then. But now I appreciate, I'm just way more grateful for the little things. And so we all get our lessons in different ways. And I think I prayed my kids would lose sometimes. Like
to teach some things.
And when they were devastated, I'd be like, hey, you got to take your losses too. Like there has to be a loser. You won before, you'll win again. Like it's next.
And there's a lot, when you're the loser, there's a lot to learn about human behavior. So my daughter was a cheerleader in high school, and her junior year, they were competing against Highland High School Cheer, which had 6 state champions. Yeah. And Bonneville unseated them and won state that year. And my daughter looked at me and said, why are they behaving this way? Oh my gosh, you have to lose sometimes. And I said, honey, there's 4 years of girls there, and they've never lost. Yeah. This is their first time. Now you know you can give them some grace, because you've been the second place team before.
Right. Yeah. And the pressure when you are at the top, way more to hold it than to the underdog. It's always fun. Right?
Sure. So when you lose, you learn grace, because someone else is going to lose eventually, and you can understand the way that they feel when they lose.
Losing also teaches you, if you analyze the loss, right? When I was in sports, we would watch film.
Yeah.
And if you lose a game, it shows you where there's chinks in the armor. And it shows you where to refine the play. This is why you got stopped here. This is why you didn't make it here. You should have turned here. And so you can really kind of understand, run the reel back. You can kind of see exactly why that loss happened. when we shut down our restaurant, I was kind of devastated and I took it super hard. But I learned a lesson from it where I'm like, man, this doesn't define me. I can do this now. I can fix this. I can go this way. I went
And
back
you can
to
still cook.
Still cook.
You're still eating. The kids are they're
I
fed.
shifted from that back to concessions, and then I did like the private chef thing. People would have me come in their homes and cook, and I'd prepare like all kinds of different opportunities open after that loss. So sometimes losses redirect us back to where we're supposed to be. So losses play a great
There's a
role.
value too. You just don't give up.
Yeah,
The loss
absolutely.
can't be the end.
Yeah, you can't just throw it all away. Like, I lost.
You know the determination that it takes to lose and then come back to the field the next week? That's a lot. That says a lot about you. To have like a losing season. My boys play football at Century High School, and they're undefeated this year. But they've gone years just being trampled on, year after year after year. And now this year, like, they've learned from all of those losses. We're like, man, we've got to get that fight in us. And everybody's counting them out, and they just keep showing up winning. And so it's...
I bet you can
losses
see
are good.
why they're winning on the film too. Like something I've noticed lately in just different sports is when the teams play as a team, they win. When there's not this person trying extra hard to be the star or get the stats, which happens in high school sports around here just because there are so many stars. But the teams that prevail often are the ones that just work well with each other.
Yeah.
Like they just flow.
Yeah. Would you like to highlight one more?
Yeah.
So that comment makes me think of another
From your
chapter.
book?
And
Perfect.
it's called The Others. And this one is about other people in our circle of influence. And there's 3 different types of people you need in your life. I won't go into it. You kind of got to get the book, but there's 3 different types of people you need in your life. And one pours into the other and pours into the other. And if you have those 3 different types of people in your life, it helps you to expand within your circle of influence. So get the book so that you can
Find the others.
find the others.
Find the
I feel
others.
like I've heard similar things, but I do believe it is important. Like the people in the room with you, the 5 people you hang out the most with, you end up becoming like. So I'm thankful I have awesome people in my life, like Julie. I've been blessed with really good friends, but it's true. Who you are surrounded with is either gonna take you up,
Elevator.
or crab in the bucket, pull you back down.
Okay, I'm going crazy inside. I just gotta tell you. So there's 3 different types of people you need. One is you'll have those people who are on the same level as you, right? But above you, there's somebody who's above you. Like, let's say you want to get to a certain level in life, and there's somebody above you that can mentor, and they're pouring down into you. Then there's those people who are at the same level as you, and you can bounce ideas off of them. We have everything kind of common. Then there's people, for terminology's sake, this is just lack of words, right? Or idea,
That are in growth
who
mode.
are underneath
Yeah.
you. Yes, who are growing and they're aspiring to be like you, and you're pouring into them. You can't receive from the people above you if you aren't pouring out beneath you.
I 100% believe that and do that. I always am trying to help people.
A full cup can't be
Yeah.
filled. So you're always pouring down, so somebody else is pouring down, and then we're always growing because we have this reciprocal pouring out.
Yeah,
that's
it's
always
like
going on.
it's like oscillating, just a flow of generosity or whatever you want to call
We
it.
both believe in the law of abundance. There's plenty out there.
Absolutely.
And you get more if you give more.
Absolutely.
I love that. So that is a great probably place to end on that from the book. But we also, anything else you want to talk about?
Oh, no. I mean, well, concerning the book,
Yeah.
So-
Concerning the book, and then we'll wrap with like a life lesson like from you, like
Yeah.
today, where if whatever you're just feeling like you want to share a golden nugget from Corey.
yes, ma'am. Well, concerning the book, people hear the term faith and they think religion. And it's not necessarily a religious term here in this book. I'm talking about belief. I'm talking about, there is a religious concept behind it from the Bible that says faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So whatever it is that you're hoping for, there has to be an evidence behind it. The evidence that you actually believe or have faith in this is your actions. So it's the substance, it's the makeup, it's the DNA of the things that you hope for, and it's the proof of things that you don't yet see. So that's what we're doing here. The people I coach and counsel and do consultations with, a lot of times they're on this treadmill and they're doing a lot, but they're not getting anywhere. They're just running in place.
Like going through the motions, checking the boxes, but maybe not taking like the real action.
Absolutely.
That stresses you.
And,
that pushes you.
And it always boils down to your faith. Mm-hmm. Man, and faith isn't just this grand launch out, but there's some practical steps you can take to display your faith or to walk out your faith. And so that's really what the book is about, is how to practically step by step and get out there and make things happen.
So you coach, how do people follow you? Is it on Facebook? Do you have like Instagram,
You can
Facebook?
find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. You can go to my website, CoreyMangum.com.
Okay.
My calendar is there. All of my contact and my email, everything's right there on the website.
Okay.
So
CoreyMangum.com. We'll make sure to
CoreyMangum.com.
tag that all.
Because my maiden name is Mangum, I'm going to spell it all out for people because people struggle with
And
it.
they're
I'm
not
sure.
related.
We're not related, but my family genes do go back to Mississippi. So
Well, there we
maybe
go.
there's something there. But
There we go.
It's CoreyMangum. So CoreyMangum.com.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, would you like to leave us with a life nugget?
Man, life nugget. There's so much to
I mean,
life,
besides
right?
this, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
on top of this.
Man, do you, be you, and make the best out of whatever is presented before you.
Do you be you?
It doesn't need to be long. That's a good one.
Do you, be you. Make the best out of it.
Corey, thank you so
Yes,
much
thank
for
you
joining
so
us.
much.
Yeah, thank
what a
you guys.
pleasure. Thanks for joining us today on the We Share podcast.
If you've loved what you've heard, please give us a 5-star rating, tell your friends, and share this show.
You can also follow us for recipes, lifestyle and fashion tips, book reviews, and more on WeSharePodcast.com.
Join our Share Squad and sign up for our newsletter there.
We would love to connect with you.
We share on TikTok, Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram. Give us a follow.
A big goodbye squeeze and sending you all our love from Alex and Julie.
Join us next week on the We Share podcast.